every day of the week. Like I should really sit down and talk to him, and I talk to him gangster. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming as, and what that is for us, what gangster is for us in nowadays society, come as you are, be you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you try to put anything, illusion on anything, it never works.
Yeah.
Honesty is always gonna take you where a lie can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That,
So
and that's the best way, because one thing about the youth, they know what's real. They know, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? They know when we give them something real, and they know when we just trying to butter them up, and you know what I'm saying? So the
yeah,
best policy is being real with them, and that's when you're gonna get the most out of them, just being real with them. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's
for
what
real.
I'm going. Man, you was already spinning some fire, so I just went ahead and started the live. You know, I want to catch a little bit of that.
Oh,
But
okay, you know,
yeah, but we started. Welcome to another episode of Wealth is Gangster, man. Today I got my partner out of Killeen, man. You know, been corresponding back and forth for about a couple of years now. I've been
yeah,
watching growth, watching his mindset, watching how he pushing his narrative. So I want to bring him on the platform, Mr. Bryan King. Let the Wealth is Gangster family know what's going on. You know, tell them a little bit about you.
okay, what's going on? Good morning, Grand Rising family. You know, my name is Bryan King. I'm out of Killeen, Texas. President and founder of BAC, Brothers Against Community Crime. And what I mean by community crime, I mean robbing the youth and the individuals of the community out of their potential. You know, stopping their blessing, their vision. See, when we think about crime, we always thinking about taking away from. But let's put it, change the narrative and show them what's gangster. You know, a gangster is those that we know what we have been through, right? I've been through so much, but God allowed me to be blessed in a way that I have to spread His word. And this gangster, you know, God had gangsters with him. You know, Peter, he cut off somebody here. Jesus had to tell him, man, we ain't coming with the sword. So that's how we have to come with the youth. You know, we have to be able to put it in a scenario where they can understand it. You know, it said makes it's simple. You know, so if we can make it simple, and what's the simplest way? By being transparent, showing where we came from and how we're trying to change the narrative to add and fix what we messed up. You know, sometimes it takes us humbling ourselves and listen. You know, I came from an era where the parent was like, do what I say and not as I do, but that didn't make sense.
Yeah,
You know, it didn't make sense to me because I had no understanding of how can I do, you showing me one thing and telling me another. That's not going to work. And it's definitely not going to work in today's society. So what do? I use my experience to maybe help somebody else not go down the same road I went down. You know, people don't know that just a couple of weeks ago, I woke up in a puddle of blood, dead. The doctor told me I pretty much died, but God allowed me to show that He's not finished with me yet. Why? Because it's another younger man coming up that might need a little advice. It might be a brother that needs some wisdom and guidance from somebody that been there and done that. You know, I got two younger kings I'm raising. You know, so I have to show them what integrity is. I have to show them what a man to do. I got to show them what's gangster. You know what I'm saying? But I got to show them the gentle way by
yeah,
giving by giving them something to see that you know. One of the greatest lessons I learned was from my pops. You know, he told me, he said, Brian, I told you know all the people I didn't let make it, but I don't show you the ones I had to let make it so that I can get home to you and your brothers and your sisters. You know, because I'm one of them type of people where I didn't have an understanding. So everything I thought was gangster. I had to take it there until God had to humble me. You know,
yeah,
He had to humble me in a way that, like, man, you're not bigger than me. You know, you have to have an understanding with people, man. And so this platform it's an honor because I was just telling my fiance that when I get back from the little vacation we came from, that I have to focus back on the purpose and vision that God has for me, and that's with back. You know what I mean? Helping the youth, man, to become something greater than what they see in themselves, what they look at. You know, when you look at your environment, you sometimes it stunts your potential, man. You
yeah,
know, but when you're that's why I respect what you're doing, brother, with the farming and the thrift shop. I respect that because that's what we need. We need to show differently. You know,
yeah,
we need to we need to put it in a way that, like, man, I can obtain that. Because everybody's not haters. You know, I'm one of them people. I'm not gonna hate because somebody doing good. That's gonna motivate me because it's a, man, I can get it if I just go that much harder.
yeah,
You know, that's what we want to instill in our kids and these youth, man. We don't want to instill the quick money because guess what? The quick money don't last long.
yeah,
You know, the quick money comes as quick as it comes, as quick as it go. Why?
yeah,
Because you don't have nowhere to invest in it. So we might not invest with the money, but when we invest it with our time, our willingness to hear these kids out, our willingness to show them something different, man, that's an honor because everybody don't have that. We all had a means of doing something, but how many of us make the sacrifice? The word of God says obedience is better than sacrifice, So sometimes we have to sacrifice our ear. Sometimes we have to sacrifice our time. We have to sacrifice these things so that we can just do right in the eyes of the Lord, God, Creator, whoever I do it in the eyes of me. I try to walk right when ain't nobody looking.
Yeah.
Because guess what? God is always looking. I don't care. I don't have a religion, so I don't want to put no religion value on nobody. But I got a God that wakes us up, all us up. Without God, I would be here, man. Without God, I wouldn't have the passion to help lead somebody out of a road that's traveled by many. So
I love what you're saying, and I catch every rise, and you hit us with some good scripture, you hit us with some good words to start off our day, and that's those affirmations, those mindsets to kick off your day are very important. Tell us what got you into just waking up early and just giving out some good positive spirits as the day starts. What got you into that?
You want me to be all the way transparent, man? I was in prison, y'all, and in prison you got to wake up early. But I always been an early riser. So I did prison time 12 years for something I had nothing to do with. So to feed my mind not to go crazy, because prison it's easy physical. Everywhere used to that, but the mental part of it. Yeah. I had to start changing my mind because the things that led me up to prison, it was all wrong. You know what I mean? So therefore I had to correct myself so that I could be better for somebody else, because I can't take life for granted because God gave me another chance, So that motivates me to get up early in the morning and put God first before I kiss my woman. And I love her. Before I kiss her, I go spend time with God first.
You kick it off, and I love what you're saying. Like I tell people, I don't push the religion. I tell people every day, whatever makes you a better person, that's what I want you to do. I know some people that's in church 5 times a week, and I know some people that never go. But I know good and bad people on both sides. So to me, whatever makes you a better person, I'm with. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever makes you a better person. Before we go on, because I definitely want to get into the work you're doing. Let's go back a little bit. You said you did some prison time for something you didn't do. And I'm right. And I have a book that's about to come out called The Streets Lied to Us. And all I talk about is the myths and the way we live that we think is real and hip is the biggest fraud stuff ever. Like we think we being real, we think we being super gangster, but we really we living by some of the dumbest rules ever, man. Can you go in on that a little bit?
Hell, man, excuse me, but man,
you good.
It's an illusion, man. We are caught up in the illusion. Think about this, man. Entertainers, you know what I mean? We're caught up in the entertainer world. Well, yeah. I was one of those that can say I truly lived that life and was blessed to come from that life. You know what I mean? So therefore, a lot of things I don't entertain because I know it's an illusion. Man, we got our kids caught up in these TV shows and this music that's not beneficial to them. When you know something, when I know something, I know by experience. I can't tell a person how to get off of crack, but I can tell them how God changed my life in a way I got experience. Yeah. I know that music it blinds us to the fact that, man, I want to be out here killing people. I want to be out here selling drugs. I want to do these things, not knowing that on the other side of them walls is a whole different ball game. Yeah. Because guess what? Them rap lyrics ain't gonna get you too far on that side. Because when you don't have no gun, when you have to stand on integrity and principles. I changed my life in prison. Cause I was big game back. I was doing all that, but I decided down there that I wanted to change because of one thing. I was meditating one morning and God said this. He said, Bryan, if you can lead all these people to do wrong, imagine if you can lead them to do right.
Facts. Yeah, that's
back going to the community thing. You can look it up on Killeen. It's Killeen Stop the Violence March. I was the first one to ever do a Stop the Violence March in Killeen, Texas. Brought out a lot of people, and it was because of we all can relate on one thing, and that's hurt. It say hurt people hurt. So if we've been healed from something, it's time for them healed people to go help the hurt. And how do you do that? You show them by experience. Every day I try to get up and what God deals with me, I try to share with the people, show transparency. Why? Because it shows that, man, it's somebody that's going through the same thing as me. Because somebody always gonna have it worse.
Yeah.
You know, I deal with so many people, man, in the stories and the hurt that I think it's a good thing God didn't give me all the money in the world, because it'll be gone, because I love people so much.
Yeah.
You know, even when I'm going through it, I'm gonna still put somebody else before me. You know, and I owe it, like, you know, man, I'm one of the men that believes in the word of God, you know. And so by believing in the word of God, I believe in my woman. You know, I believe that my woman got my back. I believe that she wants what's best for me, you know, and that gives me the balance I need to endure the trials and tribulations of the day as a man. You know, we miss that point because we want to be gangsters.
Yeah.
Them gangsters ain't telling, them gangsters, they ain't showing y'all that. Hey, James Brown said this. He says it's a man's world, but behind every good man, there's a woman.
Right.
You know, you have to have that balance in order to walk right, man. It's impossible to love anything without God. So without God, I can't even love my woman, because God says this. He say, love your woman like you love the church, like I love the church. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, but I don't want to get into that, because it'll open the eyes of so many that think it's gangster to have all the women in the world. It's so gangster to sleep with different. Nah, that ain't gangster, brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're weakening yourself. You know, Samson was the strongest man in the world. Samson was just looking for somebody he can lay his head in their lap and relax.
And that's why it's important for, you know, that's why on this platform, these are kind of conversations I want to have, because we have to put the new spin on what's real, what's gangster, what's a man. Because you're right. When I was coming up, when I was 11, 12 years old, running away from home in them streets, the OGs didn't talk the way we talk, and they gave me a sack and told me to go smash as many women as I can. They told me,
Man.
I thought, and I've been with my wife. We've been off and on for 25 years, and like I told her, it took me into my 30s to really realize that ain't the play, to just be trying to have the most women you could possibly have, the most this, the most that. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't the way I was born, but it was what I was taught. So I really thought that it wasn't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
The illusion. It was an illusion. You know
Yeah.
a myth. You said a myth earlier.
Yeah.
It's a myth, man. Like, I'm gonna show y'all something, man. Like, with black men, man, we don't think it's okay to go to doctors, and then mental health ain't real, man. Mental health is so real, cause that sometimes I sabotage my own happiness, my own peace, because it's everything going good. Like, man, I got a younger woman, man, that God blessed me with, right? And it's through my younger woman that I'm able to see my growth. It's through my younger woman that I'm able to deal with people, you know, because it's a different level of understanding. You know what I'm saying? It's a different level of compromise. You know, as men, we don't want to compromise. We don't want to do these things because of our pride. But it say pride comes before destruction.
Yeah.
You know, I done seen my pride lead me to 12 years in prison because I didn't want to listen to my wife at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the man. I can do this. I got this. Yeah. Yeah. But that's huge for you to acknowledge, because that's what we're here for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I lived a lot of my life in the streets, and you know, knock on wood, I didn't have to go through what you went through the penitentiary. And that's why I changed my life, because I was one of the ones. I'm like, I've been in these streets 20 years. Every single person I know that started at 11, 12 years old with me been to the pen 2-3 times. And there's so many instances where a house got hit right before I got there, or right after I left. So that lets me know that my purpose is bigger, because I ain't better than nobody. So if I'm getting spared all this prison time and all this prison sentences, that means it's a bigger calling for me. And so I answered that call. I'm not gonna just play with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, like man, brother, and you're right, man. They say the work is plentiful, but the laborers is few, man. It's I ain't gonna say it's hard, but it's a different understanding to walk like we walk, man. Like, you have to have a different level of commitment, dedication. You know what I'm saying? But when it becomes your passion, it's like it's nothing. You know, I'd rather live my life every day rather living my life every day slave.
Yeah.
And when I mean slave, I mean going to work feeling obligated to do what somebody else want me to do when that ain't even my passion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when you start to truly walk and trust in God, God started to make it where you have less worries. because you're worried about the things of the kingdom. Jesus said, man, I'm about my Father's business. You know, bro, so we have to stay about the Father's business. And what the Father's business is, how do you do that? You know how to do that? Help others win.
For real. So let's talk about your organization. What inspired you to kick it off, and what's behind the movement? You know what I'm saying? Back, when you first told me, I was like, I mean, I love that concept, man. I see you got the shirt on right now.
Oh yeah,
So,
you know,
and I definitely, we need to, off camera, we need to try to set up some CEO Youth League and back, and let's build, because that's what we need. We, like I tell people all the time, the negativity is flooding our kids every day. So the people that's doing positive, you doing it, you doing your positive in your corner, I'm doing mine in my corner. If we don't come together and expand and make the positive just as big as the negative, we get drowned out by the negative. So I definitely want to encourage people like me and you and other people in the community that's doing good. I don't care how big or small the scale is.
Yeah.
If you just got the mindset to do better, we need to come together and build on it. So let us know about back, how what started it, and what's your mission in this organization.
What it back is, I'm gonna be all the way 100 with y'all though.
Please.
Back was a vision I had in prison, right? But back didn't have a name. I knew I was gonna start a nonprofit when I got out, but it was gonna be friend of a friend, right? And so it was time for my march, and I said taking the streets back. But anybody that know me know I was a gang banger back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And I will never put CK on anything, so I just put taking the streets back. So I was being interviewed, and somebody said, "What do BAC stand for?" And I said, "But Brothers Against Community Crime." Yeah. You know, speaking into existence that now I have a large scale of brothers that I can call on that's willing to stand on what they believe in the community. Ex-gangbang, some that was Bloods, Crips, folks, street people, none street people, just brothers, you know. And we mentor kids, you know, we clean up the community. It's so many things that the vision of what back can be, or what it back will be, that is, you have to take your time and do things right, because trying to get the easy route to anywhere never leads you nowhere. You know, so like your youth league, you know, we always have talked about it, even with brother Deontay, you know, but life's tribulation. See, I had to get back to the basics and get back to the foundation of what the BAC really stands for, because I was pulled in so many different areas that it wasn't my mission. My mission solely is for the youth. Yeah, I know I say community crime, but I'm not talking about the robbing and stealing essence of it. I'm talking about the robbing and stealing, the blocking the blessings of these youth, man. You know, so if we could put them into position where they don't have to worry about someone take their life or anything that comes with in things of the community. You know, I'm a stand on when the black brother got killed by the officers. I was the one the officers, the city of Killeen, called to mediate so that the streets won't take up. You know, so it's so many. I can't be put in a box of what back is, bro. We're what the streets need. You know, you can check me out every morning. If people don't, this is my lifestyle. Bryan King on Facebook, TikTok, all that, to see that this is my movement. You know, this is not something like yourself. You know, this is something I spend time with. If I ain't with my family or my kids or something like that, I'm at home, you know, because I've been living the street life since 10 years old. You know, I never, so I'm not big into the clubbing and all that anymore. I'm not knocking nobody it is, but I just elevate from that, you know, so.
Nah, and it's about elevating, and we gotta being on grown man stuff and elevating and staying away from it. We gotta make that cool. That go back to making all this stuff gangster. That's why I started with the wealth is gangster. Like you want to do all this dumb stuff to be called a gangster, when really you can build up your community and do positive stuff and be the biggest gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest gangster right there. You know what I'm saying? And these kids ain't never heard it spent like that. So that's why I want to run with this narrative and really push it on them. I'm going to go speak with some youth today at Temple High School, you know what I'm saying, through the 401 club, 401 house. And that's all I'll be talking about. And I know sometimes, you know, people that just want to be straight up, you know, like all the way straight up and good. I tell them, my mission is to touch the kids that came from my world. So
My
so if you don't, so it's not gonna touch everybody. Some people gonna hear the word gangster and just shut down. I can't worry about that. I gotta know. I know what the 11-year-old me would want to hear, and that's what I give it to them. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like it because you're super religious or you super this, I can't do nothing about that because I ain't trying to save you anyway.
You already say, hey, look, it say in the Bible, it say if Jesus come back, he going to the trenches. Yeah. I love those. Hey, I remember, I'm gonna tell you this a real life scenario. I'm sitting on my couch one day and I hear some cussing out there from a youngster, man, and I'm like, man, what the hell? So I get up, I go outside. I'm like, man, which one of y'all down here cussing? They was like, I say, look out, you're not grown. I can't tell you, but around me, you're not gonna do that. It wasn't my son, but that's what I'm gonna do because I want somebody to do that to mine. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna make it okay to feel like you can cuss around an adult. I'm from an era when you walk in the house, you speak to everybody in the house. So the principle, because let me tell you something. Being gangster, I learned some gangster stuff in the street that helped me a better man right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest ones is respect. I guess I used to be a bully and I still have bully ways, and I'm trying to grow from that, but I understand some of my ways I was taught wrong. But because of the environment I was around, it takes a little bit longer for those things to get away. But never make excuses and always hold yourself accountable. You'll go a long way, man. That's what I push to my youngsters, man. I push that, man, nobody can stop you but you. Yeah. When a man believes in himself, a man is great. Yeah. A gangster cry sometimes, man. How many times when we was young did you hear men don't cry, man? That's a that's a myth. Yeah, that's a myth.
And it really leads you to going off the edge, because if you want to hold that in, you want to be super. And I talk to people all the time about being too hard. In this culture, we want to be too hard. I was talking to some youngsters last week or a couple weeks ago, and I was telling them about just how to prevent altercations going bigger. Like somebody step on your shoes, it's okay to say my bad. It's okay to say I'm sorry. That's cool too. Yeah. You're not weak. You're not no. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you can respect the next man. Like I tell everybody, every room I go into, I leave with respect and I demand it. That's the start off. I'm coming in respecting though. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming in respecting. I don't care if you're the janitor or you the CEO. I respect you as a man or a woman, and that's how I lead. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the principles that we gotta live by.
And that's what's gangster though, man, because, hey, let me tell you something. It's hard for people to be that, man. Men as men, I'm going to say men because I don't know how to be no woman because I ain't put myself in that lane, But as men, it's hard to respect, be able to secure in yourself to respect everybody, because people live by image. Like, man, a lot of times I found myself saying, excuse me, when it wasn't even my fault.
Yeah.
This won't lead to nothing else because once I'm there, I'm there. It's no cutting off and out. So sometimes I gotta excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Man, when I first got out, man, when you fresh get out, your mind is different. So man, I had to tell a person, man, let me make it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because let me make it is letting you make it, because where I'm willing to go, you're not willing to go.
Facts.
But I had to let me make it, brother, because I had a bigger vision. Just because you stumble out the blocks don't mean you're always gonna be falling. You don't mean you're always gonna be down.
Yeah.
In a good book, you know what I'm saying? They say a righteous man falleth 7 times. That's why, because he continued to try. You said earlier, being too hard. And my woman told me that, man. She said, baby, you ain't gotta be too hard with me. And I didn't understand it at the time because it wasn't meant for me to understand, but now I get it, Now I understand that my prideful ways can push somebody away from me that love me to death. Because I'm being too hard. I'm being too gangster. So I get up in the morning, like this morning, I got up and I say, man, God, change my gangster ways. You know what I'm saying? That's honest to God truth, bro. That's what my prayer to God, man. Like, because I know that all the time I'm not the right. Everything I say or do is not always right.
Yeah.
I could be wrong too. Man, I don't. One thing about my woman, if she was to get on here right now, she'll be able to tell you, I'm going to put God before I put everything. Sometimes before an argument or after, I'm going to go to God, man. When I start my day, it's just I depend on God, man. Yeah. That's gangster. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A man that don't know God can't be a man. But a man that don't stand up for something will fall for anything. I'm
For
tired of falling
anything.
for anything, man.
Yeah, you gotta have them principles. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Yeah,
have them
yeah,
rules, and
man.
like you say, and it's something you live by. It's not something that come and go or how you feeling today. It's just the way it is, good, bad, or different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For real.
Hey,
So
and it's hey, bro, like you know, it's so many shortcuts in life, cuz like I don't even try to take the shortcuts no more, man. Like I want to do right because I know by doing right it's gonna pay off in the long run.
yeah,
Them shortcuts, I don't know what's down that street. I'm just taking a shortcut.
yeah.
Sometimes the shortcut leads you into some danger, man.
Oh, a lot of times,
Like,
a lot of the times, because we want it easy. We wasn't taught to really. The only things we talk about getting it out the mud is getting it out the street. Now, sometimes you got to get your business out the mud.
yeah,
Sometimes you got to get your mindset out the mud.
yeah,
Sometimes you got to get living on the right path out the mud. I tell
yeah,
people all the time, like I have my music label. I say, man, when about 10, 15 years ago, when we was at our little highest, man, I had 50 dudes around me. Now that I'm talking about building up the community and doing right, I can't fire five. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So that lets me know all the people that, man, I die for you, I kill for you, I this and that. Now I got to question that because you won't even do right with me. How would you do all that for me? You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard for me to believe that you'll put your life on the line for me if you won't even do right with me. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
But
can I
we running clicks and we hear all that stuff. Oh man, I love you, man. I put my life on the line. Okay, if you put your life on the line, let's put our life on the line doing right. Why we never think about putting our life on the line when it's positive, when it's right, when it's stuff like that, but we'll put our life on the line for the dumbest stuff ever and throw away our whole life.
because the illusion.
Yeah.
Hey,
Of being real, of being gangster, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I named my book "The Streets Lied to Us" because it's all a lie, man. And it needs the people that made it through because there's a lot of people our age didn't make it through. You know
man,
what I'm saying? And I got cousins right now doing 20,
man,
40, 50 years right now. Like they giving out time like it's candy. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't nothing gangster about that at all, man. To be locked up in that box for the next 30 years. I don't care if you can fight the hardest. I don't care whatever you can do. Ain't nothing that good enough that I don't want to be able to fight then. If I got to be able to fight to be the hardest to do 30 years, I don't want to know how to fight then. You know what I'm saying?
hey, man, I'm gonna tell you something else though. That's an illusion in itself too, man. Like it's crazy that I done experienced both sides of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh, man, the illusion that comes with a lot of things, man. Like you can go to prison and not have one fight.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
What you get into is the majority of the fights I got into in prison is because I put myself thinking with somebody was friends or just man stupidity, man.
doing stuff because I'm down with this group, so I got to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
So we gotta man, why this all it is, brother. If I gotta question your loyalty, I don't need you around me. And when
right.
I loyalty, I mean, man, don't allow me to do something stupid that you could have stopped, prevented by
Yeah,
saying the right thing, But in the Bible, God showed me something, man. Y'all gonna hear me talk about the Bible all a lot, but I'm gonna show these key verses that keeps me focused. John 15:13. It says, "There's no greater love than this, than one that'll lay down his life for a friend." Man, it be times, man, people will call my number all times of the day, and I get up and be there. That it was causing conflict in my own household with my girl.
yeah,
Uh, man, just boundaries, man. But I live that. But you have to know when and who to get at too, because
yeah.
a lot of these same incidents could have put me in a position where I'm taken away from my family.
And threw
You,
away everything. And I guarantee they wouldn't have had no loyalty for you. And I'm glad you said it before I let you continue. Man, that was one of the biggest eye openers in my life, right? I got a call about 3 because I've never been a club guy. I'm like people been calling me an old man since I was like 15 because I was just always a lay low, get money, stay out the way type of dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm still that type of dude. I just switched up what I do, but I'm still
yeah,
like to myself,
yeah,
even getting on camera. It took me a while to be able to do this because
yeah,
I talk like this 24/7 for the last 10, 15 years. And my partner's
yeah,
like, man, I heard you say they be other dudes be talking. You need to talk and put that out there. So I got talked into getting into this world. But these conversations I've been having for 10 plus
yeah,
years. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But what changed my life is I got a call about three in the morning, man. And some partners, I ain't even gonna say my partners, some partners was at the club getting
mm,
into it. calling me because they know when they call me, it's other people coming with me, right?
Yeah.
So we I pull up because once again I want to be real. I gotta be this gangster, or I'm gonna be soft, right? If my partner's calling, I don't show up, then I'm weak, I'm soft, or whatever you want to call it, right? So we pull up to the club, you know what I'm saying? We strapped up and everything. Thank God by the time we got there, everything was dissipated. And then after everything calmed down, we realized these two guys fighting over a woman, right? And so I went back to the house that next day. I went back to the house. So that next day I wake up, I'm like, I was really finna throw everything away in my life because these two guys messing with the same woman. Like I literally got out the bed with my woman to go throw my life away for a guy that's sleeping with another woman. Like just think about that. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that. But it was under the disguise of being real. I thought I was gonna be a fake homie if I didn't. You know what I'm saying? No, like, and after that, I started telling them, man, hey, I don't go to clubs. Don't call me about club business. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do that. Don't call me about that business. You know what I'm saying? I don't want, if you ain't calling me about nothing positive, I don't want to hear it. Real. And ever since then, my life changed because I started realizing that now I do more business relationships. And a lot of people be like, well, you need personal relationships, this and that. And a lot of my business relationships have become personal too, like say homies and all that. But the reason I live through business first, because if me and you got business together, I can hold you accountable, you can hold me accountable, right? But if I'm your cousin, if I'm your brother or whatever, I can do all kind of bull job, and then you're gonna be like, well, that's my cousin, that's my brother, I still gotta hold him down.
You're gonna overlook it.
You're gonna overlook the stuff that he's really pulling you down with him, but you overlooking it because this my homie, this my cousin, this my dog. Now in business, you ain't gonna let me pull you down. You're gonna be like, hold on, T, the business bad, baby. We gotta get this business right. We losing money, we losing this, we losing that. So I seen that living my life through business relationships helps me be better because I'm not putting myself in bad position. Because if a business partner want me in a bad position, that's the wrong business partner anyway.
And you know, it's like this too. I'm gonna put it in a simple having boundaries. You know, with a business, is these boundaries. Yeah. With they don't feel like it's boundaries because guess what? At the end of the day, you're gonna be my family. Yeah. You know, man, I done had some instances where my family even put me in a position like my girl was pregnant at the time. My fiance was pregnant with my first son, and I don't even go to clubs, but she had talked me to going to the clubs. So we go to the club. End up one of my cousins end up there. He getting into it now, and it's chaos, and I'm gotta keep my eye. And I'm like, I went home and I was like, man, I'm not going back to no club in Killeen because what if someone happened and she would have failed and lost my baby? Anything, bro. Mm-hmm. Then I would have been sick with myself because I allowed myself to put in a situation or environment that I don't do. I don't club. You know, that's not me though. You know, I'm not no clubber. Like, so you got to know them boundaries, man. You have to set boundaries because if not, people walk over you every day, man.
Every day. They're gonna use what they say, take your kindness for weakness, and they're gonna pull it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you can't tell somebody no, you have to be able to say the words no. And it's all, you know, if they get mad, they fall out, whatever. But you are better by being able to say that word no. Because if people know that you're never gonna say no, believe me, you're gonna get caught up in something you shouldn't have been a part of because they know, oh man, I can call Bryan, he ain't gonna tell me no. He gonna
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm at a state of my life where I understand balance, right? Sometimes I don't tell my girl, I'll be like, I thank you for that. Because she gonna tell a person no where I ain't gonna say no. She gonna say no, and it makes it more peaceful for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm learning. Guess what I'm learning? I'm learning how to say no because, man, hey, bro, that's why a lot of things you haven't seen me yet because I had to get things back together, man. I was wearing myself thin, bro. Like, real for real, like shit.
And it happens, man, because like what we're trying to do, we don't have no model for it. We wasn't raised up in it. So when we trying to do right, but we still got a few past demons in our back of our mind, and then we fighting with the demons in the back of mind. Then on top of that, we fighting with the everyday life. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, when you're trying to do right, like I tell people all the time, trying to do for our people. We got to go in knowing that our people going to be, a lot of our people going to be the ones that hate on us, not support us, not be there for us. So, but you got to go in there knowing that. You really can't complain about it. You just got to know I'm doing this work for my people, and in a section of them going to be against the work that I'm doing. Even though it can better them, that's just what it is.
Hey, you know what's crazy? It's funny you said that, right? I remember I had a Kanye moment, right? It was for the election. It was Brad Buckley going against Kiki Williams, right? And
Yeah,
man, do you know I battled with myself by standing with this man of Caucasian man instead of my people? You
yeah.
know, man, do you know the backlash I got for that? But I stood with him because guess what? The things that he was pushing for, the mental health, the prison, the things that meant something to me.
That's
The
what
other
he was
part,
talking about,
but that wasn't the agenda. But don't you know this man is still my friend? This man is my friend. You know what I mean? Like to the
bro.
point I can still call him and get advice. He's like a mentor to me. You
Bro,
know?
what you're talking about right now is what we need to be schooled in. We got to stop going with people just because they look like us, or uh just because it's the thing to do. What are you gonna do for me and my people? What is your agenda? Like I tell people all the time, like I ain't gonna lie. Ever since I was 18, I done voted, right? And
Yeah.
I've never voted for anything other than a Democrat, right?
Shit.
This next presidency, I'm either gonna not vote or maybe vote for Republican. Not because I care about the Republican rules. It's getting to a point where okay, if you ain't fighting for reparations, you ain't fighting for my community specifically. And I'm tired of. I don't want to hear about no. Well, we got healthcare. Everybody got healthcare. I want some specific bills for my people, just like LGBT got specific bills, just like Latinos got specific bills, just like Asians got specific bills. I don't want to hear, well, y'all got a piece of this bill. No, we need something specific because we the one built this country and we the one got the least of this country. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and I get a lot of people, well, what you gonna get this Republic? You can't scare me with who I'm gonna get in there because if you're not doing nothing for me, but I'm giving you my vote, well, I'm worried about somebody that ain't gonna do nothing for me anyway. You know what I'm saying? They not supposed to do nothing for me because we never vote for them, but you supposed to do something for me because we vote for you and you still don't. See that political intelligence is what we got to build up on, like you said. Because most people, if we say that, like if I say, man, I ain't vote for the Democrat, first thing gonna say, oh, you a traitor, man. You voting for the Republicans? I ain't no traitor. Tell me what they're gonna do for us. You can't don't pressure me and shame me into voting, but you can't tell me what they're gonna do.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, right? A lot of people don't even know this. You know, I ain't vote for no Biden. And
man, so you did the right thing.
I'm gonna tell you why. You know why? If you look at it, people just tell us we Democrats, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Democrats, if you think about it, I don't know if I should, man, I'm saying on this.
Man, say it.
That ain't
for it.
Slavery, cuz that's like dangling the ball in your eyes. Oh, I'm gonna give y'all this, but not knowing I'm gonna bring you down worse. For everything that Biden did for us, look what it did to us. It worsened us.
Yeah.
Why? Because we went with the money. Our people, we're money driven. A lot of us don't have principles and morals and integrity that we stand on. You know what I mean? So therefore, I don't see things the other way. I knew the vice president he was choosing. I knew what she did for prisoners. See, I have to deal with things that relate to me. You put people in prison, so why would I vote for you, knowing that, you know what I'm saying? We have to get out of that box, man. They keep us stuck in this box because they don't want us to know. See, I done lived the political side. I done seen even black people in Killeen, I'm just being honest with y'all, that I voted for and haven't kept their word. And I don't have nothing against them. It's just show me that color don't matter, man. It's what do you stand on? What principles and morals do you have?
Yeah.
You know, you might not be the same color as me, but you have the same principles. Then guess what? That's we can walk. It say in the Bible, Amos 3:3. How can two walk together unless they agree?
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
And we just supposed to walk, even though we don't agree with half the stuff we do. We supposed to do it because our grandma did it, our great grand. No, we got to break the cycle. You know what I'm saying? And what's so crazy about it? They'll make you feel bad by saying, "What are you doing for me?" Who else? What other race do they make feel bad when other races step up and say, "What you gonna do for me?" They answer the question. We're the only race that's supposed to be like, "Shut up, be quiet. We ain't gonna do nothing, but you got to vote anyway." Or you disrespecting your ancestors? No, and I hate this myth. Our ancestors died for us to vote. No, our ancestors died for us the right to vote or not vote. They died for the right to not vote or vote.
For who you want to vote for. They ain't say you just because I'm black, I'm gonna vote for them. Hell, man, you crazy.
And they definitely didn't say go vote for Biden. And he been there 40 years and he ain't never did nothing but we got racist stuff on wax that he said. But besides that, let's talk about just the prison systems and all the stuff. He just sent hundreds of thousands of black men to jail because of his jail bill. And the first thing people gonna say, well, you know, your churches and all that, they was on his side. Yes, and that's why we got to stand up against them too. Like I'm fearless, bro. I'm not cutting nobody no slack. I got preacher homeboys that'll tell you. You know, when we talk about all this stuff, I bring up slavery, I bring up this, and I got preachers partners that make money out preaching, and I'm like, I ain't got no problem with you making money, but let's make money instead of building a mega church. Let's build a facility where we can have apartments. Let's build a market store that you can make money. But you can make money by giving opportunities, jobs, and everything else. You know what I'm saying? We don't get no opportunities by building a mega church in the hood. You know, it's a crack house down the street, but you got this.
It takes away from the value of the hood. Hey, can I tell you something though?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna have to sit down and talk because guess what? You know why? I hear this every day. Like when I do the moment, man, why you ain't nowhere preaching? You know why I ain't nowhere preaching? But because the church ain't doing what the Bible told the church to do.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I stand on? This, and anybody that know me, God said you was to look out for widowed women and orphan children. That don't, when they say widowed women, that don't mean a woman that husband died. That's where a man is, where there lacks a man, you're to be a man. Yeah. And it don't have to be nothing physical. You know, just being showing what a man is, and that's how I live my life, right? And the love and respect that comes with that. Why? Because you're being a man. So therefore, the church is this, right? The church is not doing what it's supposed to do because it's this. Why I can give you my money for 20, 30 years, right? 20, 30 years faithfully. And I come into you and I be like, man, I need help with my phone bill or my light bill, something that's I need that's, and I get, oh, well, you got to put out this application, you got to do all these things. Why do it? Why? Where in the Bible do it say that? You know, Jesus said, and I'm gonna back that up with scripture, right? Jesus went in the church and he overturned the tables. He said, y'all have made my father's house a den of thieves. Yeah. Everything ain't for profit when it's of God.
Yeah. And that's what I be trying to tell them. It's impact. Because like I say, I'm from the street, so I was always thinking profit, money. But once I got into this world, I started realizing, and I heard Brother Ben quote this phrase maybe a couple years ago, and I've been running with it ever since. Like impact will bring income. If you worry about doing the biggest impact, the income will come, because at the end of the day, we got to survive. We're in a capitalistic world. We got to make money. So that's it's not saying and I hate when people try to do right. Now we got to supposed to be broke and die poor like Malcolm X. Now I want you to be a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire. Still build righteous and still build on that. Just because other people got their wealth and they demonize it and all that, don't mean we have to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna build me a kingdom. I don't care. And when I say kingdom, I'm not talking about with the most fanciest. No, wouldn't. You know, we got to know our worth, brother. Like so many of us don't know our worth that we think it's okay to live paycheck to paycheck, not have nothing. No, man, it's not about that. You know what I mean? It's not about being broke either, but it's about enjoying life. Setting up a man job is not a job. A man purpose should be to leave an inheritance for this child.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? So
I be having these conversations all the time because, you know, and I'm gonna I had this conversation with my grandma, right?
Yes, sir.
Because, you know, the older they are, it's about just being a hardworking man, right? And ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not dissing a hardworking man. But if you're a hardworking man and you leave your family with nothing when you die,
what was the hard work for?
That's my point. We got to get out of this where I put my kids, I feed my kids and put a roof over their house. You're supposed to. I'm not put on your back.
Man, I hate when people do that. Like, I bought my kid, nigga. That's what you're supposed to. I picked up that's what the fuck, man. Hey,
yeah, like, no.
Hey, look.
You want to impress me? Tell me what you did outside of that. Tell me that, man, I just built up some wealth for my kids. Tell me that I invested so my kids gonna be straight when they hit 18. That's the stuff. That's the stuff I want to hear about.
Hey, like, I got a brother. Man, I got a strong brother down here. I love. He get on my nerves sometimes, but I love him. Roscoe. Because Roscoe, one thing he gonna preach to me, he gonna hold me accountable, and he gonna preach, man, leave something for your kids, man. It's about your kids. So it allows me to hold myself accountable and start preparing myself to be able to leave something to my kids in the right way without going broke, without doing all these, and making an impact on my kids' life. You know what I mean? Because if you don't have no impact, what are you? I got a text from my daughter the other day, because I was out of my daughter's life for 12 years, and it was Friday, matter of fact, and she said, man, she said, Dad, I want you to know I love you and appreciate what you're doing. She said, I know you be stressed, but I just want you to know I love our relationship and you doing a great job. I love you. Man, that meant the world to me because it showed me that I have an impact on my 17-year-old daughter. I might not parent like most people parent, but guess what? My parenting working because I go in it with like this. Your voice is to be heard just like mine. I'm not going to go into it saying you wrong because you messed up, or I want to get an understanding of what caused you to do this and give you an explanation of wisdom and experience from what this can lead to. Always give you the option of there's always consequences behind the choice you make.
Bro.
I'm not going to preach something to my daughter that I'm not. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? And just as well as my son, just as well as my girl take it the most. Because it's showing that I'm not going to change the man I am under no circumstances.
Yeah, and it's leaving the kids want to be able to know that's why most kids run to somebody else and tell their problems to, or so half the parents don't even know what's going on in their kids because they got it so blocked off. Your kids should be able to come talk to you without thinking they're gonna get demonized, beat, none of that. They should be able to tell you anything because the moment they feel like that, they're gonna keep it to themselves, which is gonna make it worse, or they're gonna go tell somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like even with my youth program, I don't talk to kids about like most parents. Well, you're gonna play sports, you're gonna play this. No, what do you want to do? Tell me what you want to do. And then if you tell me once you tell me what you into, then I'm gonna figure out how to connect it and make it mine. Like in my kids program, we got kids like that drawing back there. That's from a 12-year-old Raya. That's her niche. So what we doing? We're gonna nurture that and blast it out. I got another kid that's into cooking. What we gonna do? We're gonna nurture that and blast it out. I'm making it. We got the spelling bee coming up where I pay our kids get trophies, money. We got to make this other stuff cool. Not only, like I tell parents all the time, if you got 4 kids, and it's not like you do it on purpose, but this is just what happens. If somebody got 3-4 kids, right? The ones that play sports going to be on a higher pedestal.
Yeah.
But what about the one that just like to read? What about the one that want to be in a spelling bee? What about the one that just want to make things? What about, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's make that stuff the same, just as cool. Because we're losing so many kids because only 0.5% gonna make it in sports, but we push all our kids to sports. That don't make sense to me.
Hey, it's I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like, we on the same. That's why I love brothers, man. Like, our vision is the same, man. Because I was great at sports, but sports don't hold my attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so many things that I'm against sports that you can't do certain things to me without me responding. But I look at my kid, like my son. This is pain from him. My son,
okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I see that he's artistic. My other, not artistic, but he like doing painting and drawing,
Yeah.
So I told my girl, I say, man, I want to put my kids in theater school. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that's going to give them something different than sports and let them choose.
Yeah.
So because I can't live my life through them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to give them the opportunity to live theirs and enjoy theirs, backing them on whatever decision they want to do.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so big you said that because, like, and I talk about this all the time, and some people get mad at me, like, when I first started CEO Youth, like, I want to attach it to a lot of AAU leagues because I want to have a curriculum so they can get the sports and the finances. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because like I say, most of them won't ever get a professional check, but even the 0.5% that do, half of them go broke because they don't know nothing about money. You know what I'm saying? So to me, anybody should want it, but I see that a lot of parents go against what I'm saying because I'm real harsh on sports. Like, to me, you give a kid a football when they're born. Now give them football, basketball should be 3rd, 4th, 5th on the list, especially when you're a black child, especially a black boy. You know what I'm saying? Because what are we taught to success in a black person? You go to college, you make it in sports, you go to the army, maybe become a preacher or something. Like, we only got about 5 or 6 things that we're told to be successful, right? And it's crazy, bro, because it's thousands of things that can make you successful. I had a parent tell me, my kid just loves to play video games and I'm tired of it. I say, well, once you put him in coding, because if he like to play video games all day, you put him in coding. Now he could be a millionaire out doing what he like to do. Like, we got to stop fighting against what they like and nurture what they like.
Exactly. You know, that's the only thing. That's what's gonna take them the furthest. Yeah. Hey, with my organization, right? I stand on the Habakkuk 2:2. It's called the Habakkuk plan. And what it is, in the Bible, Habakkuk 2:2, it say, write out your vision and make it come write out your vision so that it become clear. And all it is when I sit the children down, I allow them to, what do you see yourself doing?
Yeah.
And once they give me what they want to do, that's like you said, that's when okay, you want to do this, I'm gonna put you in this area. I'm gonna find somebody in this area.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Now I'm holding you, this is a contract. What we just wrote out, this is a contract that I'm holding you accountable for, because this is what you said you want to do. Nobody didn't say you want to do this. So if this is what you said you want to do, now let me play chess. Let me put you in position so you can succeed.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about, putting them in places where they can succeed. Because the reason I started CO Youth League, because like I said, I left my mama's house at 12, right? Mm-hmm. But I got what? Seven uncles, only one made it to professional sports. And it's hundreds and hundreds of black men in my family, and only one made it. So that lets you know the odds, right? But the problem I was having was kids that's taught from birth that you're gonna make it in sports. Nobody ever told them, well, your chances are slim. Not that you don't want them to play sports, because sports teach them a couple good things, you know what I'm saying, about teamwork, all that type of stuff. So I'm not against sports. I'm against sports being your end all be all. That's what I'm against. You know what I'm saying? Like in my program, we built to plant seeds. I don't know if you're gonna be an investor. I don't know if you're gonna be in real estate. I don't know if you're gonna be none of that. But I'm gonna plant seeds so you can figure out what you like, and then we'll help you go that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got to be about. It's about opportunities. I don't want a kid to look up at 18 and be like, well, you told me I was gonna make it in sports. I can't go to college. I went for a semester and came back home. Now I'm depressed. Now I'm on drugs. Now I'm in the streets because I'm aggravated. You know what I'm saying? Because you told me I was gonna make it in sports. Then I talk to so many kids. Okay, what are you gonna do if you don't make it in sports? Yeah, they look at me and they really don't know. They never even thought about nothing else outside of sports. And to me, that's a travesty, because as a parent, you got to tell your kids, okay, it's only half of 1% making it in sports. I'm gonna put you in sports, but the odds are slim. So let me put you in a drawing class. Let me put you in an investing course. Let me put you. You know, I had a Chinese guy tell me, a Jewish guy. He was a Jewish guy. He was telling me, he said, we teach our kids how to run a bank at 4 or 5 years old. Damn. I know black 18-year-olds that don't even know how to open up an account.
Man, bro. Hey, it's
you know what I'm saying, bro?
So
just think about that. They learned how to run a bank at 5. We don't even know how to open up an account at 18. You see how big a gap that is?
It's sad.
And it's over and over and over again. And some people get mad when you, like I said, a lot of people talk about, I got a chapter in my book. Well, I don't call the chapters in my book, I call them traps. So it's trap 1, trap 2 instead of chapter 1, chapter 2. And I talk about parents raising thugs. And a lot of people talk about, well, them bad kids. Why nobody ever say that's bad parenting?
Thank you, bro. Like, for it, man, I swear you think like
bro,
the kid only do what they see.
What they see. And I tell people that all the time. I say, when I see a kid acting out, that just tells me how they act at home. They telling on their everyday life. They not really being bad to me. They telling me, okay, when I see them act, okay, so they get away with this at home. They do this at home. They do this every day. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? When I see somebody rob, steal, a 14, 15-year-old going to jail for having a gun, I'm thinking about, man, what kind of life was he living to even think that that's cool?
Hey, man, this is honest God too. I got some little kids, man, that I mentor, and I heard them like, man, I ain't tripping. I got a tool. He telling somebody else this, so they come and tell me. So I went down there and tell them, I'm like, what y'all 11 and 12 years old talking about y'all got ops, and what have y'all have done to make y'all, man, you're only 12 years old. Like,
they're programmed. They're programmed to have ops. They're programmed.
That NBA young boy messing up these kids, man. Yeah. Like, for real. Man.
And even before that, it was like the Keith Chief like messed up their parents that's messing up the kids. Man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey,
like I said, and I'm not a person that's against it, because like I always try to look. I understand the street life.
I can't be against it because it's life. You know what I'm saying?
But we have to be real about what it is. We have to be real about what it is, and we got to call it out. And that's what I'm saying. We got to be able to say, nah, that ain't gangster. I don't know what homie talking about. Yeah. That ain't real at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I was listening to some rapper the other day. He was talking about, hell, I have 20 kids if it wasn't for abortion. I'm like, no, that ain't cool, bro. I'm talking about, he said it like it's just the gangster stuff ever, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I ain't gonna lie, that's some toxic. That's some, man.
For real, bro. And that's what I'm saying. So
guess what? You only taking care of about 2 of them.
That's, you know what I'm saying?
If
that's the case, bro, just wrap up or just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I do is I'm looking at the psyche, because I understand the psyche. I tell people I understand it. Because when I remember, like I tell people all the time when people be like, man, them kids crazy, they this and that. And I don't feel like that way because I know where I'm at now, right? But
And
I
I
remember being
like that. I used to be that. That's why I relate to
yo,
it. I be that.
I remember being 13 years old, right? Telling myself, man, I can't wait till I go to the penitentiary so I can run across my partners.
Man,
Because
man,
why? Not because I wanted to go to the pen. It's because all I seen was dudes go in and out the pen. So I thought I'm gonna get a little money. I'm gonna go to the pen. I'm gonna get swollen. I'm gonna come back out and do it all over again. I thought that was the normal.
and that him.
You know what I'm saying? So, so that's what we got to change. We got to change the facade, like you say, that we think is normal, and let them know, man, that's the biggest lie. That's the biggest falsehood ever. And we got, and more of us got to say that. And that's why that was the main reason I started this podcast. So, and I had people over here the other day, a beautiful black couple. They out there, they bought a couple acres. They growing. You know what I'm saying? I bring different people from walks of life to let them know when kids see me with chickens and bees and all that. I want them to see a dark-skinned black man with a mouthful of gold that's unapologetically black that talk, but still talk about nothing but building.
Yeah. Hey,
you know
we really need a link though, man. We might have to do lunch or breakfast or something.
Definitely.
I really got some things that you can help me out in,
and vice versa. Yeah. We definitely can do the collab.
I don't want to cut this off, but I got some things I need to.
No. I was gonna tell you right now, man. We wrapping up because matter of fact, I got to go to the thrift store and I got to be at Temple High School to talk to the youth. So as we wrap up, man, give us a last little word. You know what I'm saying? Give us some words to end on, man.
If I had to give anybody some words to end on, and I'm talking to myself, quit sabotaging your happiness.
Yeah. Quit sabotaging your happiness. That's real. But a lot of it, we our own roadblocks. Sometimes we the biggest roadblocks to our own progress is us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, say we're gonna have to do this again. We might have to do a little bi-weekly, a little something, just like a little conversational piece. Yeah, we start doing this every other week, a couple times a month, just to have these real conversations because our community need it. Man, so I appreciate you coming on to the Wealth is Gangster podcast, man. We got the king up in here, Bryan King. I salute you. I push it. I support everything you do, and let's talk offline about things that we can do together to build up the Temple Killeen connection in all surrounding areas, man. I appreciate you coming on. You have a good day, my G.
You too, brother.
All right.